A disturbing case began to unfold in the countryside of Tuscarawas County in 1998 when a suitcase containing the body parts of a man was found outside Dover. Then a week later, a second suitcase was found containing the torso of the same body. At the time, authorities were unable to identify the victim, the cause of death, or a suspect. But investigators never gave up on the case, hoping for a tip or a breakthrough in forensic science that would solve the gruesome mystery.
The idea that somebody would be in a home or a private residence and cut up a body, and I know it's not something we can share to the public, but seeing body parts cut up, it just goes against everything you stand for, and it's just something that we would never be able to drop.
Then in 2023, investigators decided to use DNA analysis to construct a family tree of the victim. It eventually led them to the home of 81-year-old Larry Drottleff in Euclid. Detectives discovered that Drottleff's father, Lawrence Drottleff, was born in 1904, but was not listed by the state of Ohio as being deceased.
We then start investigating his son and learned that his son had been questioned years prior for stealing Social Security. And that was really a kind of a key for us.
While being questioned, Larry Drottleff eventually told detectives that in 1998, he discovered that his father, then 93 years old, died of apparent natural causes. The son admitted that he used a handsaw to cut up his father's body, put the remains in suitcases, and then dumped them where they were later found. Investigators say Larry Drottleff did not report the death of his father at the time and kept the illusion that he was still alive so that he could collect his father's retirement benefits and pension.
He said, I lived with my father. I wasn't doing well financially. I had already had a failed business. I needed my dad's income to survive. So he confessed to cutting up the body over 2 days in a bathtub and disposing of the parts. Some of them by suitcase, which he claims he just drove down Interstate 77, got off an exit, got out in the country where there are no other cars and tossed a suitcase out. And some of them, he says, he bagged up and put in a dumpster behind where he worked.
Investigators say after all these years, Larry Drottleff could not be charged with abuse of a corpse because the statute of limitations has passed. However, he is now facing federal charges for stealing nearly $250,000 in benefits over the years. Detectives say the 81-year-old assumed that the discovery of his father's remains was long forgotten, but it remained a quiet priority for the last 28 years, and they say the science finally caught up and revealed the truth.
We'd like to be able to hold him legally accountable for cutting up the body, but we can't do that, and we believe in holding him accountable and letting the public know that the case was never forgotten and that it was solved.
Jack Shea, Fox 8 News in New Philadelphia.